Hi there, my name is Kailey, and I'm a follower of Jesus Christ from the Holland community, vocationally working as a behavioral health therapist. I am also the founder of Joymakers Project, a platform organization that exists to inspire a movement of people excited about loving others well in simple and extraordinary ways. This world is really hurting a lot, and I want to help bring hope to people one small act of kindness or intentionality at a time. So today, I am privileged to share a little something about how to listen and celebrate with one another, and how we can do that with both genuine compassion and empathy while maintaining healthy boundaries. So, listening and celebrating others' joy to me means to be outwardly focused. God knew it would feel good to love and celebrate others well. Everyone is fearfully and wonderfully made, destined for purpose in this life, but many do not know it yet. One way we can start is by going and making disciples, by planting seeds wherever we go. Whether it be a letter of gratitude for a friend you love, saying hello to a stranger, tipping that waitress really well regardless of how the service was, offering to pray for individuals you cross paths with, sitting next to that person who maybe looks like they could use a friend, simply being a listening ear and showing compassion to one's pain are all ways to love someone. Whether it be expressing value in someone, calling out the gold in them, making them feel seen or noticed, these are all ways to listen to even what God is saying about them and to celebrate them. So maybe never underestimate what one act of kindness can do to impact someone's life or even change it for the better. I'd like to share with you a real life story about listening and celebrating a person made in God's image that changed my life forever, inspiring me to press into the intentional acts of kindness as a daily rhythm of life. So sophomore year of high school, I had an opportunity in a class to either sit with some popular friends or to sit with someone who appeared to look like they could use a friend. I felt the Holy Spirit guide me to sit next to that individual that looked like they could use a friend. And as I sat next to them, I felt encouraged by the Lord to speak life into that individual, to help him feel noticed, valued, and seen. What I thought at the time was just being friendly, I found out later that it was so much more to that person. What I mean by this is years later, way long after I had graduated high school, I received a Facebook message from the same individual thanking me for sitting next to them in that class. For they at the time were severely depressed and contemplating suicide. But one reason that just made them decide not to follow through with suicide was because they felt noticed and seen by me sitting next to them in class. So that changed my life forever. I was so humbled that the Lord would use me. And it just reminded me that we should never underestimate what one act of kindness can do to change someone's life or to impact it for the better. So now that we've talked about loving and celebrating others, let's also talk about maintaining boundaries while loving well. 1 Corinthians 3:6 talks about how one plants the seed, another waters it, but God is the one who makes it grow. So it's not us who waters or plants that does anything truly, but it's God who makes things ultimately grow. We just get to partake in what he's already doing. So maybe rest in the fact that the Lord portions out for us what we're called to in that day, but ultimately he is the one who restores, heals, frees, and saves us from the broken world we live in today. So as we encourage, pour out our hearts, pray without ceasing, but at the end of the day, it must be written on our hearts, and having that spiritual and emotional boundary that the Lord is the one who is the ultimate Prince of Peace, the ultimate mighty counselor, the ultimate everlasting Father, and great, great God. So as you pour out your life to share with others the love of Jesus Christ, also rest in the fact that Jesus asked us to not carry these burdens alone, but to take his yoke upon us so that we can rest in his gentle and humble heart. As Matthew 11:28-30 says, "Come to me, all who you are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. He says, "Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." So friends, that's another spiritual and emotional boundary we can rest in, that we aren't meant to carry the burdens of this world by ourselves, but the Lord asks us to take his yoke upon us so that we can rest in him too. So let him carry you through in that as you press into loving this really broken and beautiful world well. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you took something valuable away from this, and may God bless you today.